that trailer was like wild. Like seeing that trailer, what we got, and obviously, I kind of want to see where it's gonna go with these Easter eggs that Mr. Eric Voss finds in this new Rockstars. What should I call it? Trailer breakdown. El paso del gigante.
It's that baking soda shit, water whip. And my diamonds cost a grip. Hit that hoe again, riding around LA in a fucking Benz. It's that baking soda shit.
Alright, so let's see where this is gonna go with this. What's it called? Deep dive. Oh.
Thunder, which finally reveals the face of the villain, Gore the God Butcher, and flick me.
Oh, so he's called Gore the God Butcher. Okay, because I was like, is it Destroyer or something like that? But it's God Destroyer. Okay, or the God Eater.
Looks sick. It is time for a frame-by-frame breakdown of all the details you missed, and not just because this is the second Marvel trailer in 1 week to lead with ass, though we actually do have to go frame-by-frame through that ass shot because there are some interesting details there. Not
there is detail with ass.
The details you think. Well, the details you think, but also more details than you think. Anyway,
but
and our friends at
it's censored Twitch, so basically,
as Thor, what if
chill.
number 10 from 1978. Stick around to the end of this video to learn how to enter to win. Let's go.
Oh, I love that. That basically there is what's it called? Crap, losing my train of thought. That there's What If comics. I didn't know like the What If comics like that version like were existing, but awesome. All right,
kids,
back to it.
To popcorn now.
Oh.
Let me tell you the story of the space Viking, Thor Odinson.
The space Viking.
He was an ordinary man. He was a god.
Okay,
Stormbreaker. That's what it's called.
Thor meditating beneath this wisdom tree that we saw in the last trailer, but a key difference, they have now added 2 figures hiking up to Thor from behind. It looks like a male and a female. Perhaps Peter Quill does look like Pratt's silhouette there. Yeah. And then I would say either Nebula or Mantis, but this woman doesn't exactly match their silhouettes. So maybe Valkyrie, maybe Jean, maybe Gamora. Will this movie finally reunite variant Gamora with the rest of the Guardians? We can actually see that.
Nah, I kind of don't. I kind of wouldn't expect Gamora being in it. Since like she is like in somewhere else, like who knows where this variant Gamora would have been, but nah, I don't think it would be Gamora. It seemed like Jane.
That same tree behind Korg as he's regaling the kids. Maybe telling the kids, hey, don't bother Uncle Thor right now. He's getting some alone time. Now, this blue-skinned race is actually the same tribe that the Guardians fight alongside in the other shots. I'm thinking they're the Zatoan tribe of the planet Centauri 4, the same tribe as Yondu, which is why the Guardians feel such a kinship with this tribe, wanting to defend.
Oh, so yeah, it could be what's it called, Mantis, but just like you can't see like the antennas. And obviously Peter Quill, I do see it.
And Yondu's home planet. So if this planet is Yondu's home world of Centauri 4, that would make these other planets and stars in the sky part of the Alpha Centauri system. Alpha Centauri being the largest sun in the sky. And it's interesting
that's like a
so
big
many
sun.
Of the other planets in the horizon, because it could be how this movie visually conveys my theory that Centauri's neighboring planet of Centauri 6, referenced in Eternals as a past planet that the Eternals helped destroy to birth the Celestial, could get referenced in this movie. We might even see the ruins of that planet in the sky, and that could be the home world of Gore.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Why he hates all gods now. We see Thor powering up Stormbreaker. We actually see him coming down on whoever these raiders are in the final shot of the trailer.
I love that.
Then Thor pops the collar of his leather vest on the Benatar while the other Guardians turn to look. It actually looks like he may have borrowed some of these clothes from Peter Quill. Like
the freaking bedazzling in the back. It's something else, bro. This is what I love about like this Thor. Obviously, he's like goofy, and obviously like not all serious like in the comics where he's like all serious and down to like do some action. Like they went to the effect of making him goofy for like the 3rd and 4th movie, which is gonna be this one, but like still like down and like to throw in the punches and everything else.
this looks like it used to be Quill's red jacket, but now with the sleeves removed because
he just, like, ripped
there's
it.
no way those tree trunks are gonna fit in the sleeves. Actually, the shirt he's wearing looks like an artistic display of the 9 realms spread out across Yggdrasil, which of course is the Asgardian world's tree. And this whole tank and jeans look looks a lot like Kurt Russell's look in Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell, of course, playing Peter Quill's father of the ego. Moving on.
Oh, dude, I was like, that's how like I felt. Like I was like, who is this guy? Like he seemed like familiar. Like Ego seems like a familiar person, but like now knowing that it was this like, oh crap,
After saving planet
Kurt
Earth
Russell.
for the 500th time, Thor
It's
set off
crazy.
on a new journey. Well, he got in shape.
we got the first ad.
He went from dead bod to god bod.
Okay, some new shots of New Asgard and Tonsberg, Norway.
Look at that. They got freaking cruises. Look at this. Is that the Disney cruise?
And it stayed as a tourist attraction now. In addition to the cruise liners, one of them having the face of Volstagg, members of the Warriors 3 who died in Ragnarok. We can also see a golf course. Now, I'm not sure if these greens are on the same field where Hela broke Mjolnir and where Odin died. If so, it's kind of sad for tourism to carpet over that site. But actually, in the
that would be just like stupid. Just the fact that it was like, oh, Odin died. Let's play some golf in here. Let's just make this a freaking golf arena. Oh my
middle
god.
of that green is some figure that might be just a golfer with his caddy, or might be that pedestal that contains the broken shards of Mjolnir. Those shards unable to be lifted and moved, and maybe now that's Thor just sitting on it, thinking. Then Thor uses Stormbreaker to change into his Asgardian leathers. So if those were Peter Quill's clothes, I guess they're gone now. We can see Korg reining Thor's goats. Let's give this a shot. Tangri and Tanjost. I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, it's Tangrisnir and Tangnoster and Tangrisnir.
No, but they translate to Teeth Bearers / Teeth Snarler and then Teeth Grinder. These goats
I
are
love
famously
this.
Thor's steeds from Norse mythology. But like in the shot of this from the first trailer, this one also is just framed.
Wait, so basically, did when they created Thor, like, did they get the aspect from mythology, Greek mythology, of the gods and everything else, or like I'm not even sure, like who created it first? Like, was it obviously Stan Lee with all this other stuff, or was it like just like? No, I'm assuming it was the historics, but
in a weird way to make me think that there is
but
a
they just
third
made
character
Thor
who's
like
been
this.
digitally removed from the trailer footage. Now I speculated it could be Beta Ray Bill, one of the versions of Thor in the comics. And he's got to make it into the live action MCU at some point, so I'm praying that's the case. But behind them now in this shot, you can see more of those blue-skinned Centaurians, so this still would be that same planet. And if that wide shot was showing Gamora, she would be another surprise character that they might want to leave out of the trailer.
Yeah, but like I'm assuming that there's gonna be like a character, because obviously like, the shot is wide in, and like obviously it would like make sense, but in the second case like it wouldn't make sense, because basically you're just seeing Thor change into like his new fit with Korg, and obviously the ghosts, but obviously like when you see like they're like looking up, you see Korg obviously, but like there's like a space. It's probably gonna be the goats.
Beta Ray Bill, Gamora, someone else, let me know who you think is actually here in the comments below. Then more shots of Thor's Mr. Incredible style workout routine. Battle ropes with these chains and a giant skeleton. I'm still wondering if it could be one of the past gods that Gore has captured and tortured. Thor, once again, wears the trucker hat that previously had Mightiest Avengers on it. And then now he's sharpied over it, so that instead of Mightiest, it's Strongest.
The strongest.
Avengers is now just Avenger. He crossed out the X because there's only one of them. Thor being the strongest Avenger, a recurring joke that's been in all these movies. Meanwhile, his whole look is modeled on Vincent D'Onofrio's character in Adventures of Babysitting, where that girl thought he was Thor. But another one of his fitness goals was to...
Oh yeah, I remember that. The fact from the first deep dive where they were like saying, this is like going in reference to like this movie that where basically the girl was thinking that he was Thor. And
the entire Benatar. The fact that he's able to take any steps at all is pretty impressive. I feel like this session is going to end with Quill just flooring it and yanking Thor off planet. So they can suddenly hit the brakes, and then he like smacks up against the back window this time. All right, on to the next clip.
And after all that, he reclaimed his title as the one.
Like, it goes back.
Thor.
He's like, whoa.
Oh, spoke too soon.
Jane?
It's like so funny how like it just went to the fact of in one aspect he was like trying to grab Mjolnir, and then like in the second shot it's just like Thor with his helmet on. What is going on?
So Thor here is fighting off these dark monsters who are attacking the town of New Asgard. These may be the Black Berserkers, who are Gor's minions from the comics, whom he summons with his sword, really extensions of himself. Since All Black was a weapon of the symbiote deity of Null in the comics, the Black Berserkers are in a way kindred of the symbiotes, which yes, remain Sony properties, but Marvel doesn't have to explicitly go into the sword's symbiote backstory in this movie. It is nice to see all the other townspeople actively fighting off the Berserkers as well. It's not just the Asgard protectors of the Einherjar. I don't know. But yeah, we are seeing plainclothes civilians picking up pipes and stuff and beating them down. Now, Thor tries to summon Mjolnir, but it hovers inches from his fingers, and Luke lightsabers from Kylo Ray. Jane Foster is the mighty Thor from Jason Aaron's comic run, in which Jane uses Mjolnir to power up into Thor to escape her cancer treatments. This trailer may later hint at why Jane is carrying Mjolnir. I'll get to that.
Yeah,
right here.
I'm assuming it will
odd
be
editing going on, because in the reaction shot, Thor is suddenly now suited up in his brighter golden armor and his helmet, as opposed to his leather armor that he was wearing before.
Yeah, like that's what I understand. I don't understand. Is it gonna go with the fact that he? It's actually very confusing. I have no idea. Or this could be like a backlash to like yeah, this could be like a backlash to like a different like universe. Another version of Thor. Like obviously like in one universe, like you see Thor with all that fit, and then like this is like the current like Thor from the other universe.
So really, we're seeing two moments stitched together. Maybe one earlier in the battle, and then one at the end of the battle where the two finally step up to each other. To be honest, there is something goofy about the framing here. Like Thor, even under the mask, just looks plated into this shot, as if they may be masking something here. Like, I'm just gonna be surprised if this is exactly how it looks in the theatrical version of the movie. So why the armor upgrade? Why are all the characters wearing armor upgrades? I think it may be Jane as the mighty Thor wielding Mjolnir that causes all the Asgardians to suit up in this new badass look. Like Jane signals a new changing of the guard. Let's move on.
I love that.
The old ex-girlfriend.
Oh, all right.
What's it been like? 3, 4 years?
8 years, 7 months and 6 days, give or take.
He's like, but who's counting? I'm not counting.
Okay, so Jane is riding a Pegasus.
I love that. The Pegasus is
rode in Endgame.
So
She's
beautiful.
Riding into this weird chamber. See two shots of it here, but there's a wider shot later in the trailer that gives us a big shot of it. It's filled with these golden statues that should look familiar to you. These are all Marvel cosmic entities. The clearest one on the far right is the Living Tribunal. This guy keeps showing up. It's the three-headed Chief Justice of the multiverse. Its face is representing equity, necessity, and revenge. They just made a cameo in Multiverse of Madness, the first alternate dimension that America Chavez and Strange tumbled through, but
that is crazy. That is literally crazy. The fact of I didn't even know who the hell these things were. Like, I didn't know that this man like had that power.
In that case, all three faces were separated from each other. Maybe a way of showing that we were on a different dimensional plane there. And of course, another one of these Living Tribunal statues
the Watcher
showed up severed in the void in Loki. At the time, I speculated, could that have been a reality where the Living Tribunal was overthrown, maybe by someone like Gore the God Butcher? The fact that the Living Tribunal is showing up here is interesting, but he's not alone, because
the Watcher
behind the Living Tribunal is a vault statue that looks like the Watcher, Uatu, the character voiced by Jeffrey Wright. And what if the Watcher's being another cosmic entity that just oversees, observes the multiverse,
just sees the multiverse,
supposed to interfere? But then if you slide to the left, there is a hooded figure, a skull, presumably Lady Death, who in the comic.
Oh my gosh, Lady Death, the one that I recall this one from what's it called, the Deadpool game, that he's like
Thanos
he's in love with Death.
Stuff for. Then on the left in the far back, there is a bald feminine figure who looks a lot like Infinity, the sister to
I don't know
Eternity.
who that is.
And then between them, I think that might be Eon, aka He Who Waits, an offspring of Eternity who's associated with the concept of time. So what is this place? Well, Jane entered this through a glowing orange rift, suggesting that it's not accessible through any physical means. I'm wondering if this could be a shrine to the higher tier of cosmic beings above the God tier, perhaps an MCU version of those who sit above in shadow, the gods to the gods who oversee the Asgardians and lend Mjolnir its power.
This is so confusing because like there's so many freaking levels. Like, what is the strongest thing in this Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because like obviously like we saw the Infinity Gauntlet being like the most like powerful thing to be created. The fact that one snap like eliminates half the universe, and obviously like now that they're saying, oh, there's God tier, and then there's even higher God tier, and then there's higher than that. Then like, it's all confusing. So obviously the God tier is like low, and then obviously like you see like elder gods. I don't know, like giving it like what's it called, Mortal Kombat vibes, because of it. Cause wait, hold on. Yeah, cause like this like depiction like gives me like the same vibe of Mortal Kombat with the elder gods, which like they go in the council and like you're talking with them, like you're just standing up there and you just see the council like literally talk to you like that. But who knows?
Sit above in shadow, the gods to the gods who oversee the Asgardians and lend Mjolnir its power. Perhaps it was these figures who selected Jane to wield Mjolnir. Because notice it is only...
That would be awesome. The fact that we get to see those like in the flesh instead of just like statues.
Here, where she's channeling the lightning and the thunder to power the hammer. These
that would be sick.
Of the multiverse may have taken mercy on Jane Foster for her cancer and seen some cosmic imbalance with Mjolnir being destroyed, selecting Jane as the all-time keeper of Thor's heart as the rightful wielder for this particular battle. And I say this particular because I don't know if the plan is to ultimately have Jane Foster be the permanent Thor going forward. That wasn't the case ultimately in the Mighty Thor comic run. I think ultimately by the end of this movie, Mjolnir may be destroyed once more, and like Beta Ray Bill may be wielding Stormbreaker. Now another way to interpret this is you could connect it to the temple art of Morag back in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. That art depicted 4 figures: Death, Infinity, Eternity, and Entropy. Now we don't know if these 5 in this chamber are the only statues in this room. There could be more out of frame. But either way, I think we are looking at the reigning hierarchy of cosmic authorities in the MCU. You have humans on one tier. Above them, you have Asgardians. They report to Zeus. Zeus and his tier, literally being larger gods, 10 feet tall, who reign over the pantheon of gods of Olympus. And then all of those gods report to this ultimate cosmic tier, including the living tribunal, Death, Uatu, Eon, and Infinity. Now, moving
like all of this is just gonna be confusing, but like obviously I guess this is how it goes. Just humans, Asgardians, Olympians, and the cosmic beings. That is crazy. But obviously hopefully like in this movie they don't go too much in explanation about like all this other stuff. Like this is just too confusing. Like obviously we enjoyed the movies because of just how they are and all the other stuff, but
ultimate cosmic tier,
like my head hurts.
Death, Uatu, Eon, and Infinity. Now moving on, Thor says 8 years, 7 months, and 6 days since he and Jane broke up. Now,
is that the amount of years?
Like he and Jane's breakup was recent, so 8 years, 7 months after that would track with this movie keeping up with the MCU present day of 2025. But Jane thinking 3 to 4 years is not her losing track or not caring about Thor, because remember, Jane was blipped. Her face showed up on their screens, and the official screenplay confirmed that Jane Foster was one of the blip victims. Now, then again, that screenplay also confirmed Wong dusted as well, despite Spider-Man No Way Home ignoring that, making Wong Sorcerer Supreme while Strange was blipped, but that would hardly be the first MCU plot hole ever. So, if Jane blipped, for her, it would only feel like 3 or 4 years instead of 8.5. Then Chris Hemsworth makes, I think, my favorite vocalization he has ever made. And Valkyrie being here confirms that she's among Thor and Korg and the Guardians when they are on Centauri 4. I just love all these shots of Valkyrie's armor, that bold black and silver color with this Norse logo. The bold black and silver makes her visually at least a perfect fit for what I think will be the final battle of this movie, a desaturated one with Gore. And we meet him in the next section, so let's move on.
Bro, if that's the final battle of that, dude, that would be freaking amazing. And also when I saw this, I was like, bro, this actually looks terrifying, but like so awesome.
The only ones who gods care about.
No, but like the fact that we get to see like the villain for the first time, and he looks terrifying, and that's like the aspect that you want to give off
Themselves.
It's Voldemort.
My vow. All gods will die.
Hey, he looks like Quan Chi.
So we hear Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. This interesting shot, though, of a piece
Wait,
of
it's
rock
Christian
floating
Bale?
toward a rift in space toward a lonely planet on the other side, maybe Earth, maybe someplace else. On that rock surface is a kind of cage structure. It actually looks like the red cape of Thor inside of it. This might be how Gore navigates from place to place. Then the hilt of All Black the Necker sword, or whatever they're going to call this sword in this movie, lifts into Gore's hand, and then Gore reveals himself, pushing out of a snaking tangle of inky vines and lowering his hood hood to show his scarred face, white robes stained with blood from his mouth and his open wound.
Like, that looks terrifying.
It seems like we only ever see Gore in black and white, except for his eyes. They especially boosted the contrast in this shot, giving it a noirish quality like we saw in Frank Miller and Robert Rodriguez's Sin City. This upped contrast just really sharpens all the scars and the lines of his face, giving him a withered look, making him look both very strong, but also dead inside. Like the most jacked corpse you've ever seen. A man who has lost everything, has nothing to lose, vengeance incarnate. Now, Gore in the comics has an interesting headpiece and has no nose, but I personally am thankful they let Christian Bale keep his nose, because I don't care if Voldemort's supposed to have a snake nose in the books. I know he does. It's just Ray Fiennes looks stupid in those movies.
I love the fact that he literally went with the comparison of Voldemort. No, but like, this man was also freaking terrifying of a villain.
To make
like his development, though.
And it would have been better if they just let Ray Fiennes keep his damn nose. Christian Bale has a cool, scary, angular face, and they are smart not to cover it up. Now, the vines that Gore pushes through may actually be a form of his sword. That black and white world could actually be a pocket realm that is created by All Black. Now, of course, one of Gore's victims is Thalagar the Behemoth, a frame taken directly by Esad Ribik's amazing artwork and Jason Aaron's storyline. And can we use this opportunity to beg Marvel Studios to stop just giving these comics writers and artists a special thanks in the credits of the movie? Pay them as much as you're paying the directors, especially if you're lifting the frame and putting directly in the marketing of the movie, which is directly going to lead to advanced pre-sales blowing up for this movie.
Oh, and they're making bank. Like, Marvel makes bank whenever they make movies.
Make it right. Pay your artists. On to the next.
Yeah, like pay everyone like justifiably, but like still like that is freaking amazing. Like the fact how like from even like if the movie was like a little bit bad, like obviously like I already gave my opinion about Doctor Strange, it still got a whole bunch of money. Like a whole bunch of money was like gained from it. I was like, damn, dude. Like even though like the little issue that it had, it still got so much money that they didn't care.
Next clip.
They wanted to see what was next.
I was gonna say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
Oh, the scene. That looks awesome. And that was terrifying.
So Thor pops Stormbreaker into the goat boat, which is what I'm going to call it now. And that boat leaves a rainbow wake as Stormbreaker has the power of Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. Jane and Valkyrie help Thor fight off some Olympian guards. And here, actually, you can see even more clearly in that butt shot. You can see Thor has some back tattoos. It looks like he inked Loki's helmet and a square shape that I think might be Mjolnir. He might have inked everything he has lost onto his back. So,
aw, dude. Oh,
so that might also include
Odin. Okay. What's it called? I had like to skip that because obviously I don't want to keep it like on the Asha, but censored. But damn, dude, Thor is a very good brother. Like even though like he knew that Loki was like evil and all this other stuff, like he still cared about him like as a brother, and obviously like he also keeps his accolade of Mjolnir, saying that even though it's gone, it's never lost, and obviously like. Well, it's not lost because what we saw from Loki is that he's still alive, and there's a whole bunch of stuff coming in.
Mother Frigga, Jane, Tony Stark, Black Widow, all the things he has lost. So why are they fighting in Olympus here? I'm wondering if maybe when Thor showed up at Thalagar's crime scene, Thor could have been falsely accused for killing these gods, as Olympus may think only Thor has the might to take down so many of them. Then an epic shot of Gore plunging his sword, clutching the blade into a planet or moon, destroying it. This would explain how he's able to kill Thalagar. I am wondering if Gore is doing this to try to kill a celestial that might be gestating inside. Do it while you can, Gore. It's about to become illegal in 26 states. Thor tells Jane
it's about to be illegal in 26 states.
Talking about her first bad guy, but his sly implication there is that they were both each other's first true loves, or at least she was his, and he will never forget her. On to the next clip.
That was awesome.
You are not like the other gods of kill. Because I have something worth fighting for.
Oh, dude.
So Thor and Valkyrie
a black and white fight
on this broken surface that he shattered before. The photography just looks incredible. It looks as though Thor and Valkyrie are in the process of being desaturated during this fight. Like Gore could be draining the color and the life force from the whole world. You can see this especially as Valkyrie parries Gore using one of Zeus's lightning bolts. Like the rest of her body is desaturated, but the color seems to be coming from that bolt. The same is happening with Thor amidst a blast from Stormbreaker. Other than the bolts, the rest of the shot has the color draining from it. So why is Valkyrie using Zeus's bolt? Maybe Zeus has been killed and the ranking power of Olympus has temporarily passed down to her during this crisis? It just seems like as this final battle wages on, all of the color is going to be drained until we are in complete black and white. A stylistic choice that we previously have only seen in the MCU in things like WandaVision and the first Captain America film in order to invoke a deliberately nostalgic quality. But here it looks like the color changing is a direct consequence of factors within the scene. On to the last clip.
Let's see who you are.
Oh,
Take off your disguise.
like, you went too far.
Oh, you flicked too hard, damn it!
Should we help them? And eventually, great.
Great.
Teaching your pet to drive? Weird flex. Flex your savings instead with USAA Safe Pilot.
All right, we're back.
So Russell Crowe as Zeus sounds like he's committing to a Greek accent. Good for you, Russell. And I gotta love the word choice of flick, which
I know
is becoming a bit of an MCU inside innuendo, because remember Ant-Man in Endgame said, "Flick me, Captain," as he stuck his butt out, because if you spell out "flick me" in a Comic Sans word bubble in all caps and italics, the L and the I begin to merge together to look like a U. So you know the line, "You flick too hard, damn it." You get the idea. And I assume Thor will not be blurred out when we see this in theaters.
Yeah,
everyone on this day is.
That's what I'm assuming, that basically like, when that scene happens again, it's literally like it's gonna show an ass shot. We're gonna see cake on the big screen.
Faints aside from Zeus, but including the guys and that bearded harpist.
I love. Wait, hold on. Let's see. I love the guy's reaction.
Aside from Zeus, but including.
I love this guy's reaction. He's like,
including the guys and that bearded harpist. Meanwhile, Jane, Valkyrie, and Korg wear hooded cloaks while they sit in the stands. I presume they're currently disguised. Not
like they're hiding
disguises, But in the official's photo that revealed Bastet, they were not wearing those cloaks. Seated behind them here is a god with larger feet, suggesting that many of the gods seated around them may have immense forms 10 feet tall, the way Tolerance and Amit were in Moon Knight. Now, we can't really see Bastet too well here. Maybe we'll see her better in the IMAX aspect ratio version of this trailer, but you can see from her feline ears, she is turning her head a bit, taking it in. Now, Bastet and Bast are both names referring to the Egyptian cat goddess, but also Bast is the Wakandan panther deity. This movie...
Whoa, so... Wait, you can actually see... Yeah, you can actually see it better. Let me try to move myself so y'all can see. But, yeah, like, the person that he was talking about, right here. Alright, I'll move myself back. But obviously, like,
may suggest the mythologies of Black Panther and Moon Knight and Thor are all linked, part of the same mythological system.
Yeah, I do see it. Wait, hold on. Yeah, like I do see it.
Of Black Panther and
yeah, because obviously Thor with obviously the gods and everything else. Moon Knight obviously also with the gods and all the other stuff. Like they showcase like there's a bunch of gods, and obviously like they talked about, I guess, the Panther one. And obviously Black Panther having like that one god Panther that was like literally looking at the next successor to become the Black Panther. And obviously like I feel like it makes that triangle of connection.
Moon Knight and Thor are all linked, part of the same mythological system, as Moon Knight started to do by confirming the ancestral plane is just one of many MCU afterlives along with the duat Moon Knight. Maybe Bast and Bastet are the same entity. Maybe Black Panther is considered an avatar of Bast. And since Bashanga consumed that heart-shaped herb and met Bast in 10,000 BC, really Wakanda mythology was the first mythology on the planet Earth in the MCU. Implying that may have influenced all the rest. That is everything
that is actually not a bad point though.
Down in this trailer, and we are partnering with Short.
Awesome. I definitely loved the stuff that we got from it. There's like obviously there's some stuff that I did not like think about, and there's some stuff that were in connection, and obviously I do understand it. I do see the connection between like those three franchises, which is Thor, Black Panther, and Moon Knight. Those three combining with obviously like the same ideal of the gods and everything else. But I don't know what to expect for this movie, except the fact that we're gonna see a Voldemort, Squidward type villain in this, and the same old goofy Thor, but this time with this partner, Lady Thor. That's gonna be an amazing movie for sure.